Well, hello everyone. Nice to see each and everyone. Welcome to the Fan Forum, to the wXw FanForum. I'm now speaking in English, and I'm hoping that everybody is still here, hearing me speak in English. It's going to be a tough one, but we get it done. And I see a lot of people in the chat, and everyone who is in the chat and wants to ask some questions, please do that. I'm hoping to have a lot of questions, and now I'm turning on, and I hopefully see a lot of guys. Most likely, Tassilo, is he there?
Yes, I'm right here. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm feeling fine. A little bit. You see it on my face, but surprised. But we speak in English, and everything will work well. Nice to see you, and nice to see also Felix. He's also there, right? Wonderful.
Right. Good evening, Marvin. Good evening, everybody. Yeah.
Hi. Nice to see you. And last but not least, there's gotta be Mark. Where is Mark? Let's show him. Wonderful.
Good evening.
Wonderful. So it's really nice to see you guys. And I just want to ask the first question I'm going to ask: how were the last couple of weeks? How are you feeling? And what have been the last the biggest problems you faced the last weeks going to a pro wrestling Grand Prix? Maybe Tassilo first. Yeah,
that's the best start, I would say, if you ask about the last few weeks.
Yeah, as always.
Well, I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, so my biggest problem was what to eat for breakfast, and I always solved this very well. I think Felix can answer the problems leading up to our current festival a lot better than I can right now.
So then, how is it, Felix?
I mean, by now we are pretty much used to what's going on now, so it's actually there's a lot of workload, of course, but it hasn't been as crazy stressful. Of course, everybody's working hard and long hours, but it's not like sudden big changes are happening or huge issues arising, because we are in Oberhausen, we are in Turbinenhalle, we are working with Speed 24/7, we are working with Haus Union, we know what's going on. Of course, there are a few hiccups here and there that some of you see, some of you don't. Like Francesco Akira got injured, so we had to work around that, to say, in the last few weeks. But we have so many wrestlers coming in right now. Everything's looking good, so very excited. And yeah, I would say it's going well, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, for me, the last, pretty much since the end of Shortcut, have been crazy busy, both with wXw and some non-wXw projects. But we're getting there. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to the crazy number of live streams we're doing again. Yeah. And, I think, with everything that's planned with the free tournaments we have, it's going to be a phenomenal weekend, both for the fans who are joining us in Oberhausen and those who are watching us live on Triller and wXw Now.
Yeah, it's like so many tournaments, so many evenings and events we're gonna have the pleasure watching. And I see Tassilo on the back. There's the König der Catcher. Isn't there Carsten Beck? Isn't there a small Carsten Beck? How did it came about? You wanted to do a tournament about König der Catcher, which is Carsten Beck about, right?
Yeah, of course. I think we've been wanting to do a Carsten Beck tribute and a proper one for a long time, but he passed away at a time where it wasn't possible to run the tribute show or anything. Even to do the 10-bell salute on stage, we had to wait almost a year to get that done. And then we were still in the middle of COVID restriction, where we were saying, well, that likely shouldn't be our first or second show, so let's wait until the world returns to normal. And then this took a while, and it became normal a lot slower than we had anticipated. And at one point we felt, well, now it might be too late to do it, so let's wait for the exact right moment. And when we talked about the right concept for this festival and settled on a round robin singles male tournament being part of it, and we looked at Carsten having won the last tournament that we did just like this at the fall festival, we felt, well, this is everything is falling into place. This is the right name for it. It's the right brand for it. It's the right tribute. And I'm very, very happy we get to do this.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's like a perfect tribute to Carsten Beck. Got to say that. And but if we want go to this tournament and into this tournament, Felix, what is kind of the distinction when it comes to Karat, which is the biggest tournament of the year, and now you have a kind of smaller one. But what's the difference where you say this is special for some other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, we of course cannot recreate a second 16 karat, and that was not the goal here. That on purpose we didn't do any singles tournament outside of karat because karat is so special to all of us, really. But we also haven't tried the round robin in many years, in a decade. So, and it's something that opens up a lot of possibilities that hasn't been done in Germany with a high quality really in such a long time. So we thought this is the way to go, because when we looked into last year's festival, we wanted to change things up, giving something fresh, something that we have liked to do in the past. And it's also way different for the wrestlers going in, because they know when they arrive on Friday, hey, I've saved 3 or maybe 4 big matches going in. It might not be just one where everything is on the line. It's 3 matches they have to deliver. And I think when we looked into the wrestlers we invited, it was very much on purpose who we invited. So there's a high European approach in who we invite. They all have not the same, but a similar mindset about pro wrestling. So we think that's very fitting to the König der Catcher and the legacy that would come with it, to have something totally different than 16 karat actually.
Yeah, you're talking about the wrestlers being part of the tournament, and one of the wrestlers who got picked quite late due to injury. We talked about it, Francesca Kira, who's injured. Isla Brown Cazone. What can we expect from him, Felix?
Yeah, I mean, he's on our radar for a little bit because he's doing very well in Deadlock Pro Wrestling, one of the premier independent promotions in the US, I would say right now. One of the best products to follow over there, I would strongly recommend. And he's a veteran, but he's just like getting started. And these are like the guys we're always having a look at, like Thomas Shire, Psycho Mike, these guys that were around for so long and finally getting a break. So really happy that Cozone is getting the break now. And yeah, he was on our list to bring over, but I mean, we all know it's not 2015, 2016 anymore. We have American wrestlers on every show anymore. We know that. So it's much harder to bring them over. So that was then we had an idea. All right, Francesco is out. We have to do something. He was on our radar. We knew, I mean, we all know there's a TNA pay-per-view the same weekend. So it's limiting our options, of course. So LeBron was actually the first call. He answered it. And I think he's a pretty intense wrestler that should connect with our crowd right away. So if you haven't seen him, be excited for that. If you have seen him already, I think you will be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Just have seen a few matches, and I'm really looking forward to see him. Sebastian Fifes, for example, has also read a lot about him, and I'm now even more excited. So it's going to be fun. Another wrestler who's going to be fun is also Adam Priest, who recently really got a big break. I think we have to talk about that because you had him on your radar pretty early, and now he's back at wXw Pro Wrestling Grand Prix with you. And how do you feel about his development? And will this most likely be his last appearance? I'm not really sure. I just read that he had a contract going on right now.
I mean, who knows what's anybody's last? Because I mean, he's on AEW TV, national TV right now in an angle with FTR. So I think he's doing pretty well for himself, going out of the smaller indies in the south of the US, traveling a lot, putting in all the work. So we had him here over a couple of times. Has also been great working with Adam. So he was actually the first American wrestler we approached for König der Catcher, because we wanted to keep it so European, but he's fitting in so well here. So of course, excited for Adam's career right now. And yeah, it hasn't been easy to secure that he's coming. Let's put it like that. But he's coming. I can double down on that. He will be here. He will be here. Thank you, AEW. He will be here. But he's on a great career path right now. But I hope he will be back, because I mean, if you look at a lot of AEW wrestlers, they are having chances to do outside stuff still. So there's nothing secured, of course, and who knows what's happening in wrestling. But let's hopefully not having him for the final time. Yeah.
No, most likely not, because like you said, it's like he does really well. I'm really excited to see him again. He's been here before, and now he's on a different path, but still a great asset to the tournament. I'm really looking forward to that. Also, a lot of other guys in the tournament who recently came back. Marius Alani, one of the guys who came back. Tassilo, how did that come along, and how is your feeling towards Alani being back and quickly became another champion?
Yes, and so far he's been unbeaten again, which is something he used to do in the past.
We will all.
I think absolutely clearly Marius was the company ace during the pandemic era. I think a lot of people haven't necessarily seen his empty set stuff, and I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to watch wrestling without an audience. But I think he absolutely excelled this time. He did a couple of matches that actually benefited from not having an audience, because they threw in a couple of things that usually aren't noticed when you run wrestling in front of a loud audience. So having Marius back is wonderful. He's experienced. He's really good. He's grown up with wXw. He's done everything from various title runs to tag runs to singles runs. He's been involved in a couple of interesting feuds, and having him back in today's wXw just adds another main event player right away.
How's it for you, Mark? I mean, it's like pretty much also the first time you encountered Marius Alani, or has it been like, have you seen it before?
Yeah, well, he was around my very first weekend at 16 Carat 22, but that's where he got injured. Oh. And, I heard a lot of people, talking about very excitedly. So to see him kind of come back and put on the kinds of matches he has been great. And as well, he's one of those guys, I know it's a real overused term now, but he's got an aura about him. When he steps through the entrance, when he steps into the ring, when that bell goes, the way he moves, the way he wrestles, he's very different to like everyone else on the roster. And yeah, I've been really enjoying watching him wrestle. I'm excited to see where he goes. And I'm excited to see the matches that he's going to have in the tournament coming up next weekend. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on. And, judging by the previous stream we did, he's absolutely one of the fans' favorites to win this. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
He's got all the chances, no doubt about that. Yeah. Marius Alani, one of the main guys, and I'm really happy that he's back because, like you said, Tassilo, he was one of the main standouts during the pandemic era, and he was one of those guys where you really, you knew every time he steps foot in the ring, he's one of a kind, one of the best to do it. So I'm really looking forward to that. To seeing him a lot of times. Guys, there's a stream, and we have a stream currently, and there's also a chat. You can ask questions. I'm really happy that you're doing that. I'm taking a question right out of the stream right now, right out of this chat. The legend CRR, okay, is what is this? This question is, are we gonna see Ares come back to wXw? Now that's not the Swiss Money Holding Ares, I believe, but most likely it's the Ares, who most likely is working for AEW now. Is there anything you can say about that, Felix, for example?
I mean, he's pretty close to what we are doing. He's like one of the guys who came to wXw right when we were able to book international wrestlers again, and he kept coming back. He's like one of the guys totally fitting in on what we do, like in the ring, but also backstage. So we kept talking to each other, and I mean, like I said with Adam Priest, nobody knows really exactly what's happening, but I would hope the chances are higher than not to have him back, actually. Because, I mean, obviously he loves performing in wXw. Like, if you look into the fan reaction he gets, it's really special for all wrestlers, but I think especially for the Mexican wrestlers that go all out and have the big celebration. It always sticks in their mind. And so it does for Ares. Yeah. So nothing is locked in really, but I mean, right now I think he has a minor injury. So let's see where it does take him, because he was supposed to be over for Banger Zone Wrestling in a few weeks, and he's not able to come. So I don't know much more about it, but yeah, we are talking to each other and hopefully get the chance to have him back.
Okay, yeah, let's wait and see. I mean, he's truly an exciting wrestler, so we're looking forward. And also, Ice Hockey Mouse just said, Ares, the Swiss Money one, could also just put on his mask. Could do that as well. I mean, it's kind of exciting to see Ares in with Ares face paint. I don't know, but there are a lot of other questions also concerning the tag team tournament. Let's move on to the tag team tournament. And what is on stake there? Tim Hans is asking the question. Mudo said in the vlog, it's about the trophy. What do you say, guys? Is it also going to be about the title itself, or just about a trophy? Tassilo, what is your take on that?
We discussed this, of course, in advance, and we figured all 3 tournaments should be treated as equal on the weekend. So they should all be for the same thing. So all of them will be for a trophy, or in case of the tag tournament, 2 trophies, because every winner should get one, right? So we're going to have 3 tournaments over the course of the weekends, with the winner getting a trophy each. And this is the prize they're going to get. It's not qualify for something else. It's you are Curly the Catcher. You are a winner of Femmes Fatales. You are a winner of the World Tag Team Tournament. This is what it's about.
Okay, that's a clear question. It's also good to know, because last time Femme Fatale was also, there was something special that Anita Vaughn just became, and also it wasn't, I don't know, it was the last time, but one of the last times where she kind of cashed in and then had the chance to fight for the shotgun title. So it's not going to be like that this time, Mark. You're shaking your head. Okay.
There isn't the title shot this time, but it was last year when Anita Vaughn won Femme Fatale, and then later that same day had the shotgun title shot, made history by becoming the first female to hold that championship. It'll be exciting to see her back in action again. Who knows how the hell these tournaments are playing out? We've got, the shotgun champion leading one block of Cornish to Catcher, the European champion leading the other. Their titles might not be on the line, but, guys are going to be wanting to make an impression, make a statement. And if the champions do lose anything, I imagine there might be championship matches somewhere down the line. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But it's going to be exciting. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
We all do, and like you said, it's going to be exciting. It does. It's going to be exciting, and one of the main attractions, of course, is Saturday, and we have a really big name being there on Saturday, and one of the big names is Naito, and he's coming to wXw with Bushi. And how are you guys? How did you finalize that deal? You got to tell us that, because it's one of the craziest and most wonderful deals we've had recently. So much exciting going on. I see it on our chat. Felix, describe your feelings, please.
It's nice that you're asking me, but this time it's Tess' question, actually.
Oh, okay. So Tess, you're the guy.
Time. And it's not something. Let's spoil it that we saw coming. Let's put it like that.
It's a fun story. We got an email from an account and a name that I didn't know that inquired about this exact thing. And first of all, I read it a couple of times, and then I started talking to Felix about it, doing research. Like, hey, who is this person? Could this be for real, or are we getting scammed? And we agreed on something. Last night, we never even talked to this person. So we did our due diligence, then negotiated the business deal with the company that represents him right now, and agreed on terms to bring him over for that event. And I think it's a wonderful thing to have a peak era New Japan main event wrestler, which is a very, very rare thing to be able to showcase here. And that it happened on such short notice was great, but very much it got finalized within the last 2 weeks.
Wonderful. That's really that really shook everybody in the wrestling scene, in the German wrestling scene, I think, because everyone thought maybe I'll don't do every show, and so many people said, "Oh, I gotta do every show." And now they're really so many people are really looking forward to that. And a question that kind of also the Major of Painesville is asking. It's kind of not directly, but I think what he says, because Rambo is a big part of the German wrestling scene right now. And how did it came about that Rambo and Metehan are the guys now facing Naito and Bushi? What was your idea on that? Maybe then, Felix? I think so. Right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, sure. I mean, of course, I mean, Tess kind of spoiled it already. It's like more of a something that came up in the last few weeks. So of course, you have the tournaments laid out, and the König der Catcher is so important that we don't want to have anybody really doubling down and doing another match right before doing an important match later. And I mean, looking at our roster, Metehan is probably the best wrestler who's not included in any tournament right now. Let's say it like that. He is coming back for like half a year. Rambo just came back a few weeks ago at Shortcut to the Top, but Rambo is actually on a pretty good run. If you look into German wrestling outside of wXw, he has a pretty strong GWF title run, with some impressive matches. So yeah, we looked into options, what would be fitting, what the fans want to see, what would mean something to the wrestlers involved in that, and that was basically the conclusion to come up with that. Yeah.
Totally see that, and it surprised a lot of people, I think, because it wasn't on everybody's book. After Naito and Bushi got, we knew that they got announced, but it's kind of an interesting fit, I think, especially for Rambo. It's another way on a step to the top, I think, because he, as we all know, Rambo is pretty much unstoppable. We all know that, right? So when it comes to a lot of the wrestlers, one of the questions Paul just asked, and one of the wrestlers who are not there currently, is rotation. Will he make a comeback? Where is he actually? Do we know that?
May I take this?
Yeah, sure, Tassilo.
Okay, cool. Rather than answering it, let me give you a very long answer why I don't want to answer this and why I don't want to answer questions like this. Because in the end, there's three possible truths, right? There's he's coming back, he's not coming back, or I don't know. And those are the three answers as well, right? Yes, he's coming back, no, he's not coming back, or I don't know, or no comment, right? It's all the same thing. So say this wrestler was coming back, and we'd admit to this. Then we all recall so many great memories all of us have from wrestlers returning unannounced, and this being great pops and great angles, everything. By saying, hey, he's coming back, we're killing that. So we can't say it. We could say no, but then we would lie. And let's also say, let's try not to lie in public because it ruins credibility. So if he was coming back, we'd say, we don't know, or let's not lie, no comment. The other way around, he isn't coming back. In this case, we wouldn't say yes because we would be lying. We could say no, which would be the truth, or we could say we don't know or no comment. But if we've established that whenever somebody is coming back, we're saying no comment, then we can't say no because then we would always identify the no comments as positives. So we got to go no comment for this as well. So the only other version would be we don't know. And in this case, if we said we don't know, we differentiate it from the no comment, and no comment would be a clear yes or no. So that would be a no comment as well. So if the answer is always no comment, let's stay away from those questions because it's not going to be helpful.
Okay, that's a good answer, and we try to stay away from those questions. But still, like there's always in this chat, and I think it's also fine to ask those questions. One of the other questions Tim Hans is asking is when we talked about tournament participants, like we talked about Alani, and Alani currently is the wXw European Championship. What are your thoughts on establishing the wXw European title, and why do you think it was necessary doing so? Is there something, Felix or Tassilo? I'm not really sure. Who wants? Nobody does. Felix?
I mean, yeah, we can, of course. I think because you haven't done the FanForum since establishing the
we haven't
the European title. I think, yeah. So it has been a while. Yeah. I mean, this has been like, it wasn't created like weeks before the actual tournament. It was something, hey, what possibilities could it open up to create another title? Or what could this title be? And I think, especially after 2020, it was clearer than ever we are like a European wrestling promotion, focusing on continental European wrestling mainly, but European wrestling is what we want to present and what sticks out. So we thought it would be would be the right move, like to showcase that in actually having the European title and showcasing like wrestlers from different nations in Europe actually. And of course you can say there are like 7-8 matches per show. We have 2 or 3 events per month, so it's not needed. It could be needed. Like we feel we have a much bigger roster than we actually used to have when we were like 8 or 9 years ago, because there are so many wrestlers coming up from every school right now. Like if you look into the Academy Heat shows that Robert is running, like the talent level there is probably higher than wXw undercards 10 years ago. So actually everybody is pushing right now, and it gives different opportunities to wrestlers to reach for, because if it's only like the shotgun title and the unified title, and the unified title is so far away for like 98% of wrestlers in Europe most likely, we've had that it's nice extra competition that doesn't take really anything away from the rest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that. I mean, Red Scorpion, one of the guys who were also competing against that title, I think. And there's also the possibility of a wrestler not being featured on wXw regularly, but also coming over, just have one title shot could also be an option. Try some new talents as well. So I think it's pretty exciting to have that title. A question when coming back to the tournaments itself, one of the questions from Saruplex is the König der Catcher tournament. Will it have special rules besides the round robin? Will it could it also feature ambition rules? What is your take on that, Mark? Have you discussed that?
Yeah, so it won't be having ambition rules, but with the round robin, people again, I believe it's in Felix and Tass can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it's 2 points for a win, no points for a loss, and 1 point for a draw, because I believe as well matches will have 20-minute time limits. And I think that makes it a little more interesting. Obviously, we have time limits on the shotgun title matches of 15. This is a little bit longer, allows for a slightly different style and pace of match. And again, I think with the matches which we've got on offer, it'll be interesting to see how that develops with that 20-minute time limit, with the point system. And, potentially there's some tactics to be played there by the talent in these matches over the course of the weekend if they really want to make it into that final.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I heard that, so it's really good that you said that, Mark. It's going to be really interesting. And another tournament that's going to be really interesting is also the Femmes Fatales. Vitor Amora is asking a question. I mean, Femmes Fatales has such a great lineup, and it really does. I mean, it's really awesome to have so many talented females on the tournament, which is really equal tournament. Shouldn't be the first step of bringing back more women's matches to the wXw cards. What is your take, Tassilo? Because I mean, this card is truly stacked when we talk about it.
It is, yeah. And I think we have a wonderful lineup there, on there, with a great mix between regional talent from continental Europe, UK talent, and even overseas talent in the tournament. I think it'll be very good matches, and I was a strong advisor to put this in all shows rather than doing Femme Fatale as an afternoon show, because hiding it away as a matinee event doesn't really do it justice, and also it doesn't provide the right length for everything. If during a matinee event the tournament winners have to go through 3 different matches, it'll be a very different performance than 3 matches over 3 shows, for example. So I think it's good to take a step on that. You can also see on our Markthalle show that we have the Daniel Luna versus Yamashita match announced for 21st of November, which is also going to be a really cool match. So I think there's something happening there right now. But again, it's also an invitation to the regional talent, the continental European talent to start pushing. And of course, it's unfortunate that right now for this lineup and for this tournament, Janeo suffered this freak injury at her Ref Pro debut, which was about the worst timing to have it. Yeah. So that she's missing it is definitely a blow, both for her as well as to our very small female wrestler roster.
Yeah, and Jay Nero, we got to talk about that. Had an amazing, last year actually, because she did very well. Also, that she got booked at Rev Pro shows that she really does a lot of wrestling, and she developed her character. I think everybody is really happy to see more of her. So it's really like, it's really a pain that she can't be there. But when it comes to women's wrestling, Jasper's also asking a question. Almost 2 years ago, you abolished the women's title and more or less discontinued the women's division. Women in the wXw universe mainly appear in the intergender scene. How does that fit with the fact that not a single woman appears on the König der Catcher poster or the tag team poster? Yet, is there a big joint tournament? Is there a change in direction planned, or will it remain a once in a year occurrence? Felix, can you say something about it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking into the lineups of the weekend, it's pretty much different to Carrot, like I said. So this time it's split up. With Carrot, it was very much open invitation to all the best wrestlers, but now it's like 8 women and 8 men. They're both having their tournament, and they both showcases within their own genders this time. Let's say it like that. So it's giving the whole platform to Femmes Fatales, which is of course all female. And the König der Catcher is all male tournament. Like Carrot will be different again, of course. So we thought it would be the right environment for this tournament to not have the intergender matches this time, because I mean we are actually open-minded to do that, and there might be some during the weekend. And in non-tournament action, let's see what comes up, because there's so much more wrestling than we already have scheduled. Crazy as this sounds. And there will be a lot of intergender matches coming up later this year, probably. And it has been earlier, but for this tournament, we thought this would be the way to go.
And you also have an intergender or a male versus female tag team match, and Extreme Wrestling Party. It's like Violence Forever against Hyperactive. So that means Dominic Arini and Kevin Koo are facing Anita Vaughn against Sapphire Reed, which is, especially the whole event is going to be pretty crazy, because you're bringing Iceman back. I mean, how long has it been? Like, when was the last time Iceman's been here, Tassilo? I don't know. It's really a lot of years, right? Hasn't it been Essen the last part where we've been there, right?
No, and Tommy Giesen said the same thing. He also said last time Iceman was over, it was there. I'm like, no, you're wrong. He was at in. Did we ever reveal it? Fuck it, it's 10 years ago. It's Mülheim was at the Night Style, where we did the semi-legal underground shows for a while. So that was his last show. He did. Was it him against Jimmy Havoc, maybe?
Yeah, that could be. yeah. So sounds right. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But maybe fun side story. Last time I've seen Iceman was in Las Vegas. I was walking up the Bellagio stairs, turn around, and there's the Iceman. So it was coincident. There was nothing else to do. He needs to come back. If I see him in Las Vegas in front of the Bellagio, he needs to be at Extreme Wrestling Party.
Yeah, awesome. Felix also sent me a match from America that seemed like a fever dream. So afterwards, let's bring him back.
It's pretty much the perfect environment to bring it back. It's fans bring the weapons match against Mike Schwartz, so it's gonna be fun, guys. It's your choice, fans. It's your choice. You can bring the weapons. I'm really looking forward what you're gonna bring. It's gonna be crazy. And another guy who's crazy, super crazy, he'll also be on the card against Dennis Dolnick. So I think it's really a wild night happening at Extreme Wrestling Party. And there are a lot of other questions concerning the general structure of the tournament. And one of the questions also is about the ticket sales. And how satisfied are you with a new ticket setup for the Grand Prix, because you changed it a bit? Tassilo, how happy are you now at the moment?
Could be worse, could be happier. I think keeping the old setup for this one didn't make sense, because to me you can't sell tournament passes that only include free shows, and you can't include just one of the matinee show in a tournament pass, and thus effectively force people to add one of the matinee shows if they see the evening shows. I think in the end, with Naito being on there, people wouldn't have complained about that, but that wasn't the original plan when we put it on. So I think the day passes especially are behind what I expected. For certain days, there are more single event tickets than I expected, but that's mainly because of less day passes being sold. So let's see what our fall festival next year ends up being and how we handle this.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of shit.
Yeah.
I realized one thing when a fan emailed us, and I never even thought about this. So festival passes are, of course, what we're trying to prioritize and market to everyone, but we're doing an extreme wrestling party, which is 18 plus. So this pretty much excludes all people below the age of 18 or parents who want to attend the shows with their kids. So for future festivals with night shows, there will be a solution for these events. That's something that we never got a complaint about, but I just realized when talking to somebody at Shortcut.
Okay, that's good. Good to know. Another thing that maybe is good to know for a couple of guys when you're talking about the general tournament itself. René Lagrave also questions the tournament. Also has a question about the tournament. Will the balcony be open, right? And are there plans on Höhlen? That's doing. I don't know. How do you say that? I'm not really sure how to.
I mean. We are in Turbinenhalle 2, so not as in Turbinenhalle 1. I don't think we ever had issues in Turbinenhalle 2, to be honest, with the balcony view for people in the VIP area. We know it's not easy for Carrot, and we're aware of that, of course. But for this festival, I mean, the balcony is open. Tickets are still available, a few, I think. But there will be nothing added up on the balcony as it's not needed, actually, because we don't sell more tickets for the VIP area in Turbinenhalle 2 than there are first row seats. Let's put it like that.
Thank you so much for answering the question. Another general question when it comes to wXw and the Academy, Sandman asked, can you tell us something about the Academy and the work between the West Coast Pro Wrestling School? Is there something you want to talk about or explain how this comes about, Felix?
Yeah, I was right after running into Iceman at the Bellagio, I went to West Coast Pro in Las Vegas. They had a really fun show during the Mania weekend, one of the ones I enjoyed the most. Afterwards, Chris Hero introduced me to the West Coast Pro promoter. Of course, it was a very hectic day over there, so we only briefly chatted, but it was definitely like, all right, we are kind of on the same page here. Let's talk again when everything slowed down. It took a while until we did this. Then we went on a phone call and talked for 70 minutes. Anybody who knows me knows that that's not what I usually do. So there was a good connection there, basically trying to do the same that we are doing. It's the same mindset. They're also having a school with different trainers. Vinny Massaro, Titus Alexander, and some others are teaching there. They are having their students on their shows, and it's basically like, hey, it's wrestling, it's independent wrestling. Let's work together where we can. Let's get this started. Try and send somebody over one way or the other. Let's cooperate, and I'm sure much more will come in the next few months. So it was basically, hey, this is a fit. Let's do this, get it started, and now it's keep rolling, basically.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, also West Coast Pro is like one of the most interesting companies at the moment. So it's really cool that you have some kind of connection there. So it's really, really nice to see that. Another one of the wrestlers who also knows Chris Hero is Willow Nightingale, and Freundlich is asking the question: has there been any idea of getting her to come to wXw? Is there any idea, or have you talked about her, Felix?
I don't think she has been on any of these lists I mentioned prior, because I mean, she kind of got on the radar when everything slowed down 2020, 21.
Yeah.
Once we were bringing international, she was already with AEW. And I mean, we do have Adam Priest now, and we have Marsha from TNA, but we usually stay away from contracted people if you look into who we are bringing in. But yeah, if this opens up, because I know she is doing Eve very soon. Probably Mark knows more about this than I do. I think in November. So if this open up, I mean, we are very open to that, because I'm happy it's like AEW gives a platform to much more wrestlers to be seen on national, international level than it was before. So, but yeah, there are no plans right now. But yeah, let's talk.
Mark, can you get the contact when it comes to Eve and do something about it?
I mean, yeah, I can speak to Dan at Eve easily. I mean, I think it probably helps that Eve have Will Ospreay as a producer. So I think that's probably the connection there. But yeah, you know, we can certainly reach out, speak to Dan and see what can be done. Because, you know, as well, I know they had Chris Statlander recently, and I'd love to see her on our shows. So, you know, I think there's some interesting matchups we could put together with some of the other women AEW have. So, you know, I think if we could somehow make that happen, that would be fucking awesome.
So never say never. When it comes to never say never, there's also another question from Freundlich, who's asking about the thoughts and ideas when it comes to NXT Europe, but we don't know if that's going to be a plan or these plans are going to have been abolished. What are your thoughts, Tassilo, when it comes to that? Are there any fears, or don't you fear anything? Because like the last couple of years, you've been through everything concerning wXw. Is there anything you want to say?
I really would like to say I don't fear anything, but again, we've established that lying is an option. I think everything that major level companies, no matter which area in industry we're talking about, so this staff includes WWE, given the size, what those companies might or might not do is way outside of our control. And I think going every single scenario and worrying about it is not going to be positive towards anyone. If it happens, it happens. If it happens, we'll deal with it. I'm not very afraid of, quote unquote, losing wrestlers, because that's part of the deal. We're independent wrestling. People don't come to wXw to spend 20 years of their time there, or very few people are like me and doing that. The smart ones do something else. The smart ones either have a lot of luck and move up, or at one point they realize, well, spending most of my life of this, making very little money and getting gradually more and more hurt every weekend might not be the smartest thing. Let's do something different, earn real money, and build a family and live the good life, right? And of course, we appreciate those who stay with us for a long time and who wrestle with us for a long time, but those are the few in between. It's part of the deal that people are coming in, staying for a while, then leaving or moving up. And it's also healthy that it is this way. We're like all wrestling promotions, a very long-running series. And if the same characters were in the same series for 25 years, it'll be very boring. For good storytelling, people need to join for a while, leave, either come back or not come back. It's part of storytelling, and if everyone who ever left stayed, the product would be cluttered and absolutely ridiculous by now.
Yeah, that's true, but it's also like what you talked about, the affiliated talent. Everything went in the right direction at a short period of time, where Triple R also had the possibility of the possibility of getting the talent like Psycho Clown. There's also an option that is most likely no longer available, right, Mark?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really involved in that side of things. But I mean, one thing I am aware of is that even with WWE talent, like, there is the possibility for them to appear on indie shows. You know, we saw Ludwig Kaiser turn up in Hamburg. We see guys turn up on OTT shows. So potentially, you know, we could see AAA guys come back. We could see someone from WWE come back. I think we already said it a couple of minutes ago. You know, like, nothing is impossible in this business. Never say never. Because just when you think something isn't going to happen, something crazy comes up and surprises you. Much like with Naito and Bushi. We didn't believe that was going to happen. Then all of a sudden, holy shit, we've got them. It's going to be incredible. So, yeah, don't write it off.
You're totally right. I mean, another thing that is really incredible is, like, Vito Amora said it right in the chat, is like that you're bringing Tim Thatcher back at anniversary. A big deal for everybody who's affiliated or is a part of the wXw family for such a long time. Everybody loves that guy, so it's really awesome to have him back. And when it comes to Vita Amora, he's got another really good question I want to ask: Is the merch area planned to be in the hall as usual, or is there a possibility of using the hallway for it? Will the meet and greet with Naito and Bushi take place in the hallway? Felix, can you say something? Or Tassilo, can you say something about it?
I think it's the same issue like with Rene, what I read from his second question. Pro Wrestling Grand Prix is Turbinenhalle 2 and not Turbinenhalle 1. I think both questions are confusing the thing. To Rene, there's no balcony opposite of the VIP balcony in Turbinenhalle 2. That simply doesn't exist. So balcony is only VIP and production. And to Vito, merch area is in the back of Turbinenhalle 2 on the small area bordering towards the backstage area. That's where we usually do it. It's also where it needs to be this year. I recall that 2 years ago when Game Changer came over, they had a lot more merch than we expected, and they started setting up in the stairway. And Turbinenhalle was very, very clear that this is an emergency exit. This cannot be happening. So this must not be used. Merch will be over there. We're looking at potentially moving a bit of merch towards another space in the area, but we've got to figure this out during setup, what works in terms of fire exits and all that. So we might move either some Western merch away or some sponsorship tables away to another place inside of Turbinenhalle 2.
Thank you for answering the question. And when you talk about Game Changer Wrestling, I want to ask you guys: is there going to be some kind of co-show or show you're going to do together in the near future plan, Felix, or isn't there?
I mean, there are no plans right now. I mean, they're as busy as ever. If you look into their schedule, it's crazier than ever. They're actually not having a show during the Pro Wrestling Grand Prix, which is very rare. But otherwise, they are so busy. I think they're all over the place. They did the Japan tour this summer. So, no, there are no plans right now. And you cannot underestimate really how hard it is for an international promotion to do really shows internationally across where you're not in control of something really and have to rely on other people. So this is a lot of work for both parties then, of course. So I think it was, I don't want to say a once in a lifetime event because it was a special thing. It could happen again. It's not planned right now, but I think it created a lot of special memories for all the fans and also for us a lot of memories. So, and I think the atmosphere at this event, it sticks still, everybody remembers because it was different to a wXw event, to be honest, I would say.
It truly was, yeah. But when you're talking about new shows and new stubs, which of the new or upcoming stubs, like Dinkelsbühl and Bad Hersfeld's coming up on Friday, is going to be a big show, actually. It's got really awesome talents there. What do you think will have the potential to become a permanent fixture?
I hope most of them, because that's the idea going into a new town. It's always like when we start the show, looking into can we already announce the return date? That's always the question, because if you have the people there, we want to have them to come back. Sometimes that's working, sometimes it doesn't, but it's very rare we go to a town and say, okay, we just do it once. Because usually like the crowd size picks up second, third time, and then you reach the potential. So just for the first one, it's usually not worth the effort to go to a new town. So, I mean, if you're close to any of these new areas, go there, because it might be the only time, but that's definitely not the goal. The goal is definitely to build something to at least like once a year.
But as far as really interesting, and I hope it will work out. What is the balance? What is the current balance between self-promoted shows and local promoters? Tassilo, can you say that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about whether I ought to answer this by towns or by events.
Okay.
By towns, I'd say it's 60-40. By events, it's a lot more self-promoted shows because we're obviously running Oberhausen, Hamburg, and Frankfurt and Leipzig as the markets that we run most by ourselves. But I think level of towns probably 60-40. And again, if one of those local shows is close to you, come by, because, well, as Felix put it, it might be the only time, but it also might be a show where it needs a critical amount of tickets sold to convince the promoter or the city that runs it to do a repeat. So that can also help as well.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you should go there. And one of the guys who would most likely love to go on a wXw show is Mike Kilby. He would love to go to a wXw show in UK. So there's a question: will you come back to the UK? You've been there a lot of times. We always loved it. My gang is always planning a trip to wXw in London when you were there. So are there any plans of going to the UK again, or Ireland, for example? Felix, how's your feeling to that? Or also, Mark, I mean, you're a homegrown guy. Can you do something about it?
I mean, I can certainly reach out to some connections, but my country fucked up. It voted to leave the EU.
Yeah,
so,
true.
getting our talent, our crew, our personnel, our equipment into the UK is fucking harder than ever because there's so many fucking idiots in the UK. So that really fucks a lot of things. Because, like the visa situation is one thing, like that's much more complicated than it needs to be. We can't just drive our trucks full of rings and equipment over there like we used to do in previous years, because now you need a carnet listing every single individual item that you're bringing with you. They're expensive. And then when stuff inevitably breaks and you don't have it on the way back, customs officers give you shit for that. You can source local kit and crews, but obviously that makes that brings complications into your production and other stuff. But as well, the UK as well, politically, it's very fucked up right now, and things more expensive than fucking ever with the way things are going. So that makes things harder. But I would love to fucking go back there. I think the last show we did there was summer 23. Great time, great crowd. We did some stuff with North NCL up in Newcastle. A great time dealing with Bowers and his team there. So I would love for us to do more stuff, but I think the key thing is if it doesn't make sense financially because of the problems with fucking Brexit, then that really prohibits us. Sorry, fucking political rant. I apologize.
No, it's perfect. Mark, it's perfectly fine. I think it pretty much sums up what Tassilo also wants to say, right? I mean, that's it. Huh?
Yeah, very, very much so. I'm very happy. I'm unhappy that I didn't start counting Mark's swear words. I think this must have been 5 to 7 in this rant alone.
Oh, I'm using like punctuation. I'm also on the Guinness, so
yeah, I'm happy that cancelled out my yelling shit half an hour ago. But yeah, it's that. It's super complicated to run. Very much same the country that I'm living, just shipping down the ring and the set there is terrible, and it keeps it away. Personally, I love doing wXw away games in other countries, and I much more love it if other promotions run them for us and take the financial risks. Then it's an absolute blast. If you do it yourselves, it's a nightmare.
So people, if you're listening, feel free to contact wXw when it comes to that. Yeah, I mean, if you're living in London or something, I think there could be making plans. Okay, so thank you for asking the question about that. Like to shift on another topic when it comes to the direction of wXw, when it comes to also the storyline wise. Kulta was asking the question. wXw used to feature a number of humorous gimmicks. Are there any plans of bringing more of those back? Because currently there aren't so many. I mean, we had Hardcore Schreier was one of the guys who was really Sandman Passivlage, but also connected well with the audience. You had the funny guy Dulnik, and nowadays it's a kind of a stricter area. Can you say something about that, Felix? Where are the comedic gimmicks? Bring them to us.
I mean, there wasn't a creative change where we suddenly said wrestling needs to be all serious. There should not be any laughs anymore. It's kind of, you work with what's there right now and put it in there. And sometimes there might have been more than it should have been. Sometimes it's maybe not enough of that, but we are really trying to have a diverse product, and we are pretty open to have also some comedy involved in wrestling. But this is not currently really the roster we are working with, I would say. I mean, there are always some parts that make people laugh, but it's not really the core of most, but I'm sure that could develop. Like I said, like there are so many wrestlers currently pushing into trying to get into wXw. I'm sure we're seeing more and more new faces over the next few months. So it's always evolving there. So yeah, I mean, we all love a good comedy match, right?
We certainly do. So we hope there could be more of that. Let's wait and see. Another question, KSPK asked quite a while back. But I really find it's an interesting question. So I wanted to ask that: how does the office of wXw react when regular roster members work shows for other German promoters, which also include wrestlers who were credibly named and speaking out? Is there a topic? Are you talking about that, or is that no topic at the moment for you guys? Tassilo?
I think it used to be a topic at the very beginning when it happened, and used to be a big one that we discussed a whole lot. It's less of a topic now because we settled it for ourselves. In the end, wrestlers are independent wrestlers with very, very, very few exceptions. Neither of the people appearing for wXw is signed to wXw or gets a monthly salary for wXw, let alone one where they can live from. So I think it's very much the same as you ask somebody who works at the cash register at your local supermarket about how can you work here if this shitty person works in the same store as well. In the end, it's not your decision. And as much as I'd like a wrestling scene where certain people would be completely blackballed and not be wrestling and not be promoting as well, and it could be beneficial towards the health of everything, I think the reality is there's a limited number of promotions in place where people can get experience, and by far not every wrestler is able to go to the top 5 promotions and say, yep, I want to work for you guys now, that's my terms. But most wrestlers are struggling to get the amount of dates that they want to either make a little bit of money or get to the next step that they need a certain amount of performances per year from. So I think blaming the wrestlers for, hey, you're working for a promotion that also books people that they shouldn't be booking is wrong. Blaming the promotion is absolutely fine, I think.
So the only thing you can do, guys, is pretty much like, is that you're not booking those wrestlers who are blamed, right, Mark? Or is that speaking out? Process?
Yeah, I mean, we're not booking anyone who was named in that. We wouldn't. And I think if, someone was to come out about one of our current talent, we would look at this very seriously. Like, we'd have to. We'd be irresponsible not to. But yeah, you can't blame someone for happening to be on a show for a company who also happens to book someone who was named when, the talent, they need the reps, they need to get in the ring, they need to get better, and that's what happens. Like, if you worked only for, just reputable promotions, then especially as an up-and-coming wrestler, you're going to really struggle to get bookings. And morally, it can be very tough for some of these individuals, and I get that. But yeah, I don't think you can blame someone for appearing on a show where some less than reputable people also happen to be appearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Please also be aware that this is also a topic for the younger wrestlers that they're discussing. Like, of course, we're privy to conversations where they talk amongst each other, or they reach out to wrestlers or coaches they perceive as higher ups, like, hey, I'm in this situation and I've already driven here and I'd like to do the show. I'm getting a chance, but there's also this person on there, or I've just learned that this person is running a seminar and my booking is conditioned on also doing the seminar. So there's that, and then we always tell people, hey, guys, it's going to be your decision. We're not going to hold the decision against you no matter what you do, because we realize you're in a tough spot to do that, and you need to get on a couple of shows, and whether you can add the third or fourth permanent promotion to your resume and get a couple of bookings out of them for a year makes a difference to a lot of young wrestlers. So I really would like to emphasize, not everybody who does this is blind, but people are very much aware of this, and they're being put in this position by promoters who are responsible towards them.
Yeah, thank you for discussing the topic, because I really think it's always discussed between fans, so it's really good to have a clear answer on that. So, thank you so much, guys. Another question on a lighter note is the question when it comes to Bushi and Naito again. I mean, like, what are the top main topics right here? Understandably so. Legend CRR's question, having the question: will Bushi and Naito sell merchandise at the event? Do you know that? Is there anything you can say about that? Nobody knows.
Well, no, we
We
don't
know. I assume they would, because
Yeah.
I think if they don't, they're leaving a whole lot of money on the table, because I know fans want to speak to them. They want to buy merch from them. It's going to be exciting. So I would expect it, but I don't think any of us can solidly comment on that either way or the other.
I don't even know if I actually would expect this. Like, I also can expect to be the approach being, we do a meet and greet and that's about it. And this is only partially me trying to sell the remaining few meet and greet tickets we have left. But again, this isn't something we discuss with them. It's not something we can find out. If they even have merch being stored here in continental Europe, we have no idea what they're gonna do. They're gonna wrestle a match and they're gonna do a meet and greet. Apart from that, let's see.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wait. Let's wait and see. Got a got a call. Oh, it sometimes happens. Okay, so thank you so much. There's also a totally different question I need to ask. It's from Dennis. Why does wXw, unlike most or unlike all other promoters or promotions, don't offer free tickets for companions of people with severe disabilities who have the B mark on the disability ID card? Which is only granted when a companion is absolutely necessary due to a serious illness. Is there anything you can say about that? Because I think a few people are really having a problem with that. Is there something you can say to that, Tassilo?
Yeah, I can take that. It's super hard to answer this we're not doing it without sounding like an asshole. So I'll try to reason why. I think the argument is you have the B mark because you need the companion, and the free ticket is given because a lot of times people with the B mark are also in financial difficulties or shortcomings and could use the break. But by far not all of them are. And I think there's a ton of groups in our society right now where people are in financial difficulties, being it people applying for a refuge, people being on social welfare, people getting, I don't know what the word for Wohngeld is in English, people getting BAföG, and there's a whole bunch of groups like this. And if we included every single one of those groups, I think it wouldn't necessarily work out. And also, it would create the big problem of how do we verify this? Apart from just telling people, hey, you can ask for it and you're going to get it. That's not going to fly, because in the end, people will abuse every social system you ever try to put in place. So what we're doing is selling tickets at, no matter how it sounds, the cheapest possible way we can to everyone at the same price. And whenever we have the opportunity, we try to do something that catches a big group of people. Of course, we frequently have social groups over there where they approach us. We have another group like them at the Grand Prix. We had a group like that at 16 Carat. We did this thing in Frankfurt in summer where we said, hey, we have a few tickets left over. If you have kids and you're in financial need of that, just drop us an email. We're not going to ask a question. We're going to comp you and your kids for this event. We try to do this whenever there's the opportunity, rather than doing something that only gives an advantage to one certain group, while pretty much ignoring all other groups that have a similar issue, which is financial trouble.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, it's really important that you just ask a question. I think for most people, it's like, it gets in their head and they can think about it. So thank you very much for asking the question. And I think we're pretty much coming to our end. It's like we're talking about over 1 hour now. So I see a lot of people in the chat want Daniel Malman to be in the next Karat. I'm not sure how it will happen. Maybe he'll be at the Extreme Wrestling Party. That could be something. And one question, the Main Event Malte, which is an awesome name, dude. It's a really awesome name. Main Event Malte is asking, do we have a special set for the Wrestling Grand Prix? Mark, is there something you can already tell us how the setup will be looking?
Actually, genuinely, no, I haven't been involved in that. Bori is working with B24, so I have no idea what she has planned. It will be as much a surprise to me as everyone else.
Damn, you can't tell us anything. Felix,
if I knew something, I'm not even sure I would tell you, but I genuinely know nothing. So
I thought you'd say that. Felix, how about you?
I genuinely know nothing right now, so I don't know.
Anything, Felix, please.
I mean, you don't want to know right now. That's part of the game, right?
Okay. So, I got two more questions, actually. Kind of nice questions for the end. Felix, I mean, how thrilled are you that you managed to revive Shire's career with your bookings? I mean, it's kind of a topic, actually, because nowadays he also gets booked like for Rev Pro. He had a major part in the tag league. I mean, it's kind of what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier, and I mean, there are so many good wrestlers out there who are doing it for so long. Nobody sees them because they're stuck in a certain area or promotions that don't have the reputation or the following that maybe even we have right now. And when we had the Ambition wildcard and Shire was here against Kev Lloyd, I mean, it was pretty clear, okay, he shouldn't be here just one time, right? He's way too good to do the wildcard thing. And I think he's actually like putting in the work since then, because he's not a guy who like used to travel around so much and doing all the bookings and trying to get on other shows, but now he's doing that. You see him on other promos, you see him on West Coast Pro, you see him on JCW and Deadlock Pro, so that's really nice. Of course, it's this, and then actually the Cowboy Way tag team match helped him and Mendes actually so much to where they are right now, and I just hope it keeps on going, because there are not many wrestlers out there like Thomas Shire, and I think there's a place for wrestlers like Shire there.
And we also got to say, Germany lost Thomas Shire, so he will hopefully be back sometime. It's really great fit for wXw roster, got to say that. And something that could also be a very good fit for the Extreme Wrestling Party could be Strange Weapons. So main event Malta is asking the questions, where can we drop our weapons we want to give the wrestlers? Are there any ways beforehand? Tassilo, do you know that?
Yes, because we figured we shouldn't tell security, hey, there's going to be a bunch of people with weapons, just let them pass. So we're going to post somebody pre-security, both for show 1 as well as for the Extreme Wrestling Party, and you can give your weapons to our staff members and take care of your weapons for you.
Wonderful.
No glass. No glass.
Okay. No guns, no glass. We're still in Germany.
No, guns are okay, just no glass.
Okay. So good doing the cowboy way. Okay. maybe someone has a lasso or something. I mean, it would be fun. So let's see. And one last question. I think we'll cut it then. Montoya is asking, maybe it's not, he's asking kind of a silly question, he says, but I think it's a valid one. Will there be more animal pins of events in the future? So anybody could say something about that, Mark?
I don't know. I don't know where we got the enamel pins made. I guess we'd need to speak to whoever did. I can't help with that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
I think nobody can. Can you, Tassilo?
It's SL Wrestling. They have a license to do all our merchandise, and if there were wXw pins sold, they were sold by SL Wrestling.
So let's check if SL Wrestling is gonna produce more of them. So, Mark, what are you looking most forward to coming up the weekend at the Grand Prix?
Oh Jesus! I don't know. Like, there's so much to look forward to. The shows, the live streams, the atmosphere inside the Forbidden Hall, the alcohol. It's going to be a great weekend.
Truly will be. Felix, I mean, just tell me one thing you're especially looking forward to.
I mean, it's just like everybody coming together. It's like the whole crew, the wrestlers, the staff meeting again after many months and spending a whole weekend together and celebrating this with all the fans, because it should be a big celebration of wrestling. Like Carat is, we know it's not 16 karat, but if you all have a good time for that weekend and we all make the absolute best out of it, We want to provide some real good pro wrestling, and I think everybody is highly motivated. So everybody who's coming in really wants to make this work, having a big weekend, and get everybody in the world to talk about wXw that weekend.
And there's sure a big possibility of doing so, because like you have an awesome chemistry ongoing when it comes to the current storylines concerning Elia Blum and Ahura, two of those guys who are really fascinating at the moment, both in the König der Catcher tournament. It's going to be really awesome to see those guys. We have the big world title match, who's going to be fascinating. Peter Tihani, who came back, who still is one of the top tier talents when it comes to whole of Europe, and he's gonna face one called Mendes. It's gonna be one really good match. It's gonna be fascinating. I'm really looking forward to that. Sure, we have the Tranquilos de Japón, who are gonna be fascinating, and we've got another a few talents who most likely haven't been seen much, like Post Game and Lil Mars. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but it's gonna be fascinating to see those guys. And Tassilo, what are you looking forward to the most?
No, I think Felix gave the absolute perfect answer with the atmosphere. It's a local group that gets together like this for exactly one weekend, and that will never happen like this again. And everybody knows that, and really dives into it. It's a great atmosphere. So since Felix has already said this, and since Dan is around, I'll say to look at Dan Maman's eyes at 10 in the morning on Sunday for pre-tapes.
That's a perfect last word. Thank you so much for having the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for all the questions. We're really looking forward to having a great weekend. It's going to be fascinating. I just can't wait for the match Emerson Jane against Matthew Justice. Four Corners of Pain should be fascinating as well. It's going to be fun. Have a good time and see you soon. Thank you so much.